All right, guys, that's an official welcome to our webinar about migration from Magento 1 to Magento 2. I'm really proud to say that Amasty agreed to join this session because you probably, if you're in the Magento industry, you probably know Amasty as a very successful vendor who supplied quite a bit of extension. We were lucky as MageCloud, we were lucky to partner with them for, I think, about 5 different years, and every time Amasty delivering great support, etc. I want to welcome and officially introduce Judah as a business development manager and from Amasty, who will be joining our webinar. Judah, if you don't mind, just give a little bit a quick introduction about what you do, etc.
Yeah, sure. First of all, Paul, I'd like to thank you again for your invitation. This is really a great pleasure for me to see so many people join us live. And it's great to see that there is a great interest in this topic of migration from Magento 1 to Magento 2, and that's pretty natural considering the upcoming end of life of Magento 1. To say also, I wanted to thank you for the kind words about Amasty as your partner. We're also really proud to have you as our partner and to be able to hold such events that hopefully will be useful for our customers, partners, agencies, and many people. And a few words about myself. I joined Amasty probably a bit more than a year ago and have been working in the position of business development manager. So I've been working most closely with agencies to help them find the best solutions for store owners and build the best Magento 1, Magento 2 stores possible.
That sounds awesome. So guys, I really want to make sure there is no sales pitches over here. So straight ahead to the point. The reason why we want to join this discussion with Amasty and all of you here, it's just because there was a scary email by the PayPal, and I literally started getting a lot of requests about the migration from M1 to Magento 2, right? And if you kind of come into the different agency, a lot of them just scare over and just give you a heads up, go ahead, migrate, right? So, but I really want to make sure that I have to be, honest and transparent. So basically, when the people saying that PayPal would not allow Magento 1 starting from June 30, that's actually not that accurate, because I'm, as an agency, we still have a lot of clients on the Magento 1.9 who is making hundreds of thousands in sales every month. The store is pretty nice, everything is good, conversion is awesome. So basically, for my clients that's on the Magento 1, I decided, right, I have to email PayPal. And what PayPal replied to me is that there will be no changes made to the PayPal endpoints regarding Magento 1 configuration, right? So if you have your own PayPal account manager, first of all, don't get into the panic. Just go ahead, send them a message. There is also articles on our blog about this with the video. So potentially you can kind of refer to that and ask them a question. Would you be any troubles with that or not? So, I mean, this is just so you know kind of the information ahead of time. Now, before you go ahead and before you start thinking about Magento 2, I want to really give you some kind of insight. So if you just Google renewal like Magento 2 GitHub, right, you will see there will be quite a lot of its official Magento repository, right? So basically, on the official Magento repository, you still will have about 1,400 issues, right? So eventually, we know Magento doing a good job, raising new versions, etc., etc. But as a business owner, or you have to understand that those issues still exist, and basically fixing them over with patches of the Magento, etc., etc. That will be kind of your responsibility at the end. That's number one. Number two, if you will be Googling, let's say, Magento 2 end of life, you will see that in the official document provided by Magento in terms of the life cycle of the different products, you will see that unfortunately Magento 2.0, Magento 2.1, Magento 2.2, they were originally discontinued even way earlier than Magento 1.9. But at the same time, there is a lot of business owners still running on the Magento 2.1, 2.2 I even know the business owners who is running on the Magento cloud with the Magento 2.2, and still PayPal and all of the other payment gateways, they eventually still accept the transaction, right? One more stuff that I want to highlight as well. There is an upcoming release which will be happening, Magento 2.4, which is I don't really remember exactly when the release date will happen. Like it's a pretty brand new, you see, like 5 days ago. So eventually, I want to point your attention to a couple of things. First of all, it's like a backward incompatible changes, right? So eventually, what I'm like when I'm talking with my personal clients about migration, I'm always trying to show this that, you know, like, okay, like the new version 2.4 will come up with major changes, like et cetera, et cetera. So I want to make sure that I provide them some sort of a plan for, you know, for the migration. And my plan eventually, before you start migrating into the Magento 2, you have to give some love to your Magento 1.9. So for instance, what we are doing those days is, number one, we're migrating all of our Magento 1 clients into Nexus.net. Pretty nice. I mean, I don't want to be salesman of Nexus, but like pretty short. They come over with Nexus Safe Harbor feature, which basically will keep your Magento PCI compliant. So basically, they will still be releasing the security patches even after Magento end of the life. So this is number one what we are doing, and for sure, before you start migrating, right? It makes sense just to check your Magento 1 version with, let's say, Mage report. So I've got this client who sent me a message, hey, we want to do a migration. And then basically when I'm checking using the magereport.com, when I'm checking this website, it seems like they don't really have patches even like back, you know, 1 year ago, etc. So like before you start scaring about like all of that type of stuff, you have to understand that security, it's important. But, you know, if you are not patching your Magento 1.9, then, you know, like all of those, I would say, bullshit about like security weaknesses, etc., it's pointless, right? So basically what you have to do, you have to apply at least the most recent patches to your Magento 1.9. Eventually that can be pretty easy task, right? That's so even if you decided to migrate to Magento 2, you have to invest the time to do that, to protect yourself while you're doing the migration. The next stuff that I usually recommend is just to integrate the Cloudflare even with your Magento 1.9. Why? Number one, with Cloudflare as a CDN, you will be a little bit more successful in terms of the speed. So it's natively will be speeding up your website in terms of fast loading CDN, so JavaScript, CSS, images would be loaded much faster just by, you know, you can literally spend like 10 minutes of your time to do that, and that's it. Another great point of the Cloudflare, you can configure, and again, that's pretty easy, you can configure some rules here which will protect your Magento admin from any connection to your Magento admin from the IP addresses, which is not relevant to your office or your personal computer. So basically, Cloudflare, it's must have even on the M1.9. And the last stuff that I'm recommending to my clients with Magento 1.9 is just to get to use the system. There is a bunch of them, like, but like the idea is like get Astra. Probably it's kind of extra extension that can be installed on Magento 1.9 that will be protecting your website against the hackers. So this way, right, if you're 100% happy with your Magento 1.9, by using those steps, you can buy a little bit more time for your business, for your store, to organize migration into Magento 2, not in the rush mode, but more carefully. All right. So now, like let's think if you will be deciding to migrate to Magento 2, right? Again, so like I said, Magento 2.4 will be pretty soon. So it might, like, depends on your specific case. You might want to start with Magento 2.3 right now, or maybe wait a little bit till Magento 4 will be released and then start right from Magento 2.4, right? That's already up to you. But I mean, there is a certain stuff that definitely is supposed to happen to organize this migration carefully. And the number one concern, it's for sure a concern of losing the traffic, right? Like everyone think, okay, so position in Google Organic and Bing Organic, that's something that we want to stay with. And I'm getting a lot of businesses who is actually telling, hey, the migration was not really good, etc. So how do you want to handle that? Like the number one stuff for sure will be to kind of grab the metrics, you know, how many traffic you are getting, etc., etc. At the same time, what's important is to take a look into the Google Analytics, behavior, site content, and let's say landing pages. So with those landing pages, you will be able to define basically which pages of your website generate you the most of the traffic. And eventually you can, in that particular case, you can, kind of pay close attention about specific list of the pages, let's say top 100, which eventually drives you the most traffic. So in that particular case, you can definitely focus on the top one. Another stuff that you have to do for sure is just to, I'm using SEMrush, right? And basically from here, you can just use your domain, let's depot as a sample, basically start search, and you will be able to see which keywords you're ranking for and which URLs eventually you rank for that particular keyword. And that's pretty much like gives you a data that going forward, when you will be launching Magento 2, you will have to carefully match the new version of the website with the previous one. All right. And definitely one of the main things that I want to highlight to everyone, before you start working with the Magento 2, it makes sense to spend some time in clean up your existing Magento 1. How we do it? I mean, technically, when I'm getting the URL of the site, even without getting admin or Google Analytics, etc., I'm checking quite a bit of stuff by default. So first of all, I'm going to the number one things that I'm doing is I'm going to the redirectcheck.com, right? That's basically I'm just getting the page, removing HTTPS, clicking trace, and this way I'm trying to understand if on my original website, if everything configured correctly. Like a lot of times, like it can be fixed very easily if you are on the Cloudflare. It's just a one single page rule, takes you like 5 minutes. Basically, you see 302 redirect move temporary, which means already that's a pretty like an issue with the Google. It should be 301. I know Google is smart enough those days, so probably it's not like a huge issue. But again, like if you will be talking to any SEO guy, they will just tell you, all right, like get this fixed. And obviously, basically, sometimes what happen is sometimes if like in that case, you see I'm trying to check the same page with WW, and you see it goes with a dynamic variable at the end. So that's already like kind of not the right approach. The second thing that I'm testing, and it's pretty much robots.txt, right? So again, so this is a pretty much live website, built by someone. And if you go to the robots.txt file, for instance, you see here disallow JavaScript, disallow skin, disallow media. That's already wrong. It takes you 3 minutes to remove that, and that's already will be more credit for the Google, because I mean, by blocking the media content, eventually you're blocking like Google from seeing your images. With this one as well, that's totally wrong. I mean, Google recommend that JavaScript and the CSS of your site should be available for the index, right? So like checking this one takes you, I don't know, 10 seconds, clean this up, and that's already like a good sign, right? Next one, pay attention to your sitemap on the original M1.9. Why? It's just because you see here the sitemap is outdated. The last time when the sitemap was generated back in 2015, it's like, I don't know, like five almost exactly five years ago, which means we're sending to the Google wrong data, right? it's not up to date, and some of those pages might produce already 4.4, etc., etc. So eventually, this is kind of this is the #1 stuff to check on M1. Why I'm still talking about the M1.9? You might think about, hey, I mean, it's all about Magento 2 webinar, but if you're not going to clean up all of that on the M1, you know, it might happen that a lot of issues will still remain there. So, for instance, we're also checking, like on M1, we're checking duplicating content. So, for example, you just go to Google site, domain name that you have in URL limit, and you will see there's a bunch of the results, which is eventually will be treated by Google as a duplicating content. Now, imagine you started things over on Magento 2, and basically, but the results from here will still be like terrible. So eventually, like that's pretty much like a kind of will bring you troubles in with Magento 2, right? There are a bunch of the stuff that you can check. Catalog search, for example, a lot of times the catalog search pages might be in Google Index. I would definitely try to search for view ID. I would definitely try to search for like filters like price and stuff like that, so we know exactly where's the duplication content. You can search for session ID. Basically, I will have a slides when all of those different variables, you know, available, so you can easily go ahead, you run check against your personal website or against your, you know, customer website, and then kind of suggest them, hey, let's spend like, I don't know, like 2 days, fix this over on the M1, and then proceed ahead with the migration. Now, like imagine that we already have all of those, you know, ready to go. Magento 1.9 already fixed. We're ready to go with Magento 2. In our agency, we have a pretty much like a default list of which task needs to be executed with any Magento 2 store. My recommendation, if you will be doing Magento 2, like I think, let me probably even give you some coupon codes on the screenshot, so it will be also on the video for whoever will be. Oh, by the way, this is kind of limit mode, etc. Those kind of stuff that you can check and make sure there is no duplicating content, right? So it's already here on the slides. For Cloudways, we're usually using solution on DigitalOcean. There is like a 3 different options that depends on how many SKUs, depends on the traffic that you have. Might fit like $80 a month, 135 to 30. And basically, if you will be using Cloudways, so basically, what's the Cloudways? Cloudways, it's like a layer on top of those, on top of Google Cloud, Amazon, DigitalOcean. You can decide yourself which hosting vendor you want to use. It's just if you will be buying directly from DigitalOcean, Google Cloud, or Amazon, they would not provide you any support. With Cloudways, you will be able just to set up a ticket, have a chat, etc. So that's a quick one. We have also coupon code MageCloud. It gives you like 20% off or something like that, which you can kind of use here on the sign up page. Got a promo code over here, you can use it. So, I mean, basically, when we start with the client, we're always asking, hey, can you tell me where's the location of your server? And then from here, like basically, it's pretty easy. It takes, again, 5 minutes of your time. You set up like Magento, let's say Magento test store here. Here I'm usually typing like Magento, typing like DigitalOcean, and let's say London as a location, right? Like you can name your like a project, etc. You can select location as well, like depends on what you want, and then basically that's it. You click like launch now, and Cloudways will automatically boost you the server. You see, it's like in 7 minutes it will be ready. So if you are like a business owner, right? So basically what happened is, if you want to start with Magento 2, just create an account on the Cloudways, spend 10 minutes of your time, get this already, like get it live, and then like we were able to walk around with the Amasty. Amasty have a great packages of the different extensions. We spent about like 2 weeks identifying which extension must have, and actually kind of Amasty is preparing like a really extensions that any agency is supposed to install. I have to tell one of the stuff, like you may say, hey, like Amasty, there's a bunch of the other headworks, etc. We partner with a lot of them. One of the things that I want to highlight, and probably let me kind of skip it back here if you want to remember the coupon code. One of the stuff that I want to highlight is basically my preferences is just if you will be buying, you know, extension from one single vendor. Why? It's just because like if you're buying from one single vendor, they will make sure that all of those extensions will be compatible without any conflicts, etc. If you are buying extension from like different vendors, trying to save, I don't know, 30 bucks or something like that, end of the day, every vendor that you will be using on the Magento, every module will have like a base component, and then at the end of the day, that will be just slowing down the Magento itself. So basically, I really want to pass this over right now, probably to Julia. So imagine by this time, we've got to Magento 1.9, everything is fixed there, everything is good, we checked, we analyzed Google Analytics, we analyzed like landing pages that we have to pay good attention. We boost the server already with Magento 2 here. And by the way, just so you know, like the last pitch about here, with Magento 2, it's already coming with the nice features like varnish, it's already pre-installed. What you have to do is just to update the Magento admin. It's already coming with SMTP service. So basically you can select, I don't know, like your own or Elastic email, or you can also get SendGrid, Mandrill, like a different ones. So basically it's already pre-configured to for the best Magento 2 performance in the infrastructure. So now once we have the server, we have master credentials like SSH access, then you shoot a message to Amasty, and you know, like Julia, I will probably go ahead and just pass it over to you, make you as a host so you can share your screen. Again, I apologize. It's kind of strange things by Zoom.
Yeah, I am the organizer now, so
yeah,
I'm
go ahead.
Taking over, and I'm going to share my screen, and okay, to make it visual for you. I also prepared some slides. Again, to make it visual, and before I go to this part dedicated to extensions, I'd like to first of all thank you, Paul, again for mentioning the packages. So the ones that you showed are pretty new ones. These are custom packages that our customers, agencies can build yourselves. We have 5+, 7+, 10+ options right now. And the great thing about these packs in terms of the migration from Magento 1 to Magento 2 is that they do not just include like 10% to 20% discounts, but also offer some advanced support options, free installation, as you mentioned, and so on. So if you guys are interested, just check out the packs on our website and fill out the forms that we have there. Or just email us at support@amnesty.com, and we'll always be happy to help. And Paul has already mentioned some important steps for starting, or like getting ready for migration to Magento 2. I will continue to tell you about some of the must-have extensions that are most popular with our Magento 2 clients, such as business owners, web design and development agencies, and digital agencies. And this time I'll highlight about 15 extensions that are also known as modules, plugins, or add-ons. Most of you probably know this. These words mean pretty much the same, and I will tell you how these extensions quickly extend the default functionality of the Magento 2 platform to help your business and online store in particular to perform even better. And so far, Paul has mentioned some important steps for migration from Magento 1 to Magento 2, and about some SEO solutions and activities. And I'll start now by talking about some back-end extensions specifically about reindex from admin and the Cron Scheduler from Magento 2. And I'll show you how these two make the life of website administrators a lot easier. So let's take a look. Reindex from admin, and here I need to say that one of the most common challenges that you'll come across after migrating to Magento 2 is that unlike Magento 1, in Magento 2 you can run reindexing only from the console. And if you're not familiar with this tool, or if you don't want to open the console for this small task, you can use some extensions, for example, our reindex from admin extension. And this extension allows you to start reindexing right from the admin panel, and just like it was in Magento 1. So it should be really helpful. So the second extension that I highlighted is Cron Scheduler. And another challenge that you may face when working with Magento 2 is that a lot of processes are performed automatically by Cron. And you don't really have a chance to control these processes from your admin panel. You cannot edit the cron tasks, you cannot choose when and how often they should be run, and so on. And to make things easier for non-technical specialists, we have developed this Cron Scheduler extension. And with the friendly interface, you'll see what tasks are complete and what tasks are planned. And at the same time, if some cron tasks provoke errors, this extension will send you a notification. So this should also be really helpful. So probably that's it from me for the backend. For the two backend extensions, I'll now move on to shopping cart and checkout process. And I'd like to say that these are considered to be probably the most critical parts of any online store. And today, as you most likely know, people who buy online expect the checkout to be smooth, instant, and effortless. Meanwhile, the standard Magento checkout is quite lengthy and complex, and the interface is pretty cumbersome. So this can be a real problem if it pushes a significant number of your potential customers, especially those who are not sure whether they are going to purchase a particular product or not. These customers can be pushed to leave your store and go somewhere else, which certainly we do not want. And extensions like the one-step checkout by Amasty, this is one of our best sellers. They help you make the checkout process as swift and clear as possible by placing all the information fields on one single page. And our checkout page is customizable, and you can choose the location of the blocks and their names if you need to. The one-step checkout allows users to conveniently edit the order before placing it. So for example, it's possible to change the product colors or sizes without leaving the page, which is really important for reducing cart abandonment. So another extension that helps to reduce cart abandonment is Ajax shopping cart. And here I need to say that whenever users leave the cart page to add another product of a different size or color, we are running the risk of losing them. And it's especially true for the stores that have thousands of products in the catalog and a slow loading speed. So the Ajax shopping cart extension, it helps online stores with a nice Ajax pop-up and confirmation window that allow users to edit the number of goods in the cart without having to leave the page. And with the pop-up, you can customize the colors as well as the buttons and the text. And besides, as you see in the slide, the pop-up has a block with related products, which is also really great for cross-selling. And one more feature that helps to increase the number of complete orders is abandoned cart email. Sometimes we really cannot prevent cart abandonment, and some users will leave your store without placing an order. Still, you can try to bring them back by sending emails. For example, our abandoned cart email extension will automatically send an email notification to the customers who left their shopping cart behind. And you can even offer a discount, as you see in the slide here, in this email, and direct the customers back to the checkout page to motivate them to complete the purchase. And you also have some handy reports in the extension to analyze the performance of your email campaigns. And as we've started talking about promotions and discounts, I should mention that vanilla Magento 2 unfortunately offers limited opportunities for running marketing campaigns. We have just some basic features like displaying related recommended products or showing discount code fields on the front end. And extensions like Special Promotions Pro come to our aid here. If we talk about Special Promotions Pro, it's one of the most advanced promotion extensions that we have. It offers 20 plus promotion types, like if you spend $300, you will get a $40 discount, buy 3 TVs and get third for $89, or for example, buy pants and get a tie with 10% $10 off, and some other promotion types. And you can run advanced promotions based on product attributes, customer attributes, and even the customer's order history, or a combination of these. Also, you can restrict promotions for example, products with special prices. And the extension offers some handy visuals like banners and labels that you can use out of the box on your front end. Okay, so another great way to increase your sales and attract more customers is to promote your products on shopping platforms like Amazon, Google Shopping, eBay, or Facebook. And there are some extensions that help Magento stores to easily generate product feeds for such platforms. For example, our product feed extension. And what this extension does is it allows you to create product feeds and to automatically upload fresh data from your store to third-party marketplaces. And while we've talked about promotions, product feeds, now let's say some words about navigation and search that are no less important parts of Magento 2 stores. It is really crucial to ensure that customers coming to your online store can easily navigate it and find what they are looking for in a matter of seconds. Otherwise, they will leave the store. And one of our best-selling extensions, Improved Layered Navigation, allows for tackling this challenge, and it makes it possible to set up flexible product filtering on the category page. This extension uses Ajax technology that we already mentioned a bit earlier when we talked about Ajax shopping cart. And this technology shows the filtering results without page reloading. And besides, users can refine their search by using the multi-select, price slider, and from to widgets. Our extension, Improved Layered Navigation extension, has some advanced filters like brand, new, top rated, in stock, and on sale. And what is also interesting, it allows for shopping by brand, which is quite a big feature for our extension, and makes it a bit different from other extensions and solutions on the market. And another great tool for improving the navigation experience is a MegaMenu. Again, the faster the customer finds the product they like, the lower the chances of them leaving your store. And the MegaMenu extension helps create a dynamic horizontal menu with all types of content. It can be categories and subcategories, products and reviews, CMS blocks, banners, videos, and so on. And this extension allows for adding an Amazon-style hamburger menu to the category tree, and well, it makes pretty much impossible to get lost on the site. And when it comes to search, Magento recommends using the Elasticsearch engine, and here at Amasty, we offer Elasticsearch extension that works with this engine. The plugin allows for searching by product SKUs, names and attributes, short and full product descriptions, so the search is really flexible. The extension also supports multilingual search, synonyms, stop words, autocomplete suggestions, like we see in the slide here. Also supports spelling corrections. Besides, you can draw visitors' attention to specific products by showing them at the top of search results, and you can also display the out-of-stock items last in the search results. So thanks to all these features, the Elasticsearch extension helps to quickly find products by providing accurate search results. And speaking about speed, page load time is also a crucial consideration for online stores in terms of the bounce rate and conversions. And let's say if it takes more than 3 seconds for the first content of your web pages to load, you really risk losing up to 50% of traffic. And there are many ways to optimize your website speed, but almost all of them require strong technical skills, which not many people have, or at least not all the people have. And luckily, these, well, there are extensions that can speed up your store without making you dive deep into coding. And our Google Page Speed Optimizer extension is a good example here. This extension optimizes images, it enables lazy loading, minifies and merges CSS and JavaScript files, and optimizes HTML. So that's it for the speed part from me. I'll also want to say a few words about shipping because it's another critical functionality for Magento stores. The challenge that businesses face is that the default shipping methods may be insufficient or lacking. It's really hard or impossible to add custom shipping methods without programming skills. So I'm sorry, I see we have some raised hands. Just quickly make sure that, okay, everything is fine. Okay. Yeah, so basically wanted to say some words about shipping, this is also really crucial. And the challenge that businesses face is that the default shipping methods may be insufficient or lacking. So it's hard to add some custom shipping methods without programming skills. And if you need, or your store needs more advanced shipping features, then solutions like Shipping Suite can be of great help, or other solutions or extensions that you find suitable for your store. And this suite that includes several solutions, it's an end-to-end solution that includes shipping table rates, shipping rules, and shipping restrictions. And it allows for creating and customizing an unlimited number of shipping methods and table rates. So, for example, if you need for your store, you can restrict delivery to specific regions. You can calculate the shipping price based on dimensional or volumeric weight. You can work with any postcodes, including non-numeric if you need to. And you can easily import or export your shipping rates with CSV files. And that's it, like a few words about shipping. Other needs also include compliance with data protection regulations. So let's say a few words about GDPR and CCPA. So if you make your store available for access by European Union citizens, you need to make sure that the store is compliant with the EU General Data Protection Regulation. And also, if you sell in California, United States, you need to comply with the California Consumer Privacy Act. So there are extensions, again, that can help you do this. And our extensions are some of them. And what they do, they inform your visitors about your privacy policy and let them manage what data you can gather and analyze. So users can see, download, and request to delete the files that are stored on your servers. And the extensions will help you avoid penalties by asking customers for all their required consents, including cookie consent. So these can be really helpful for your stores if you fall under the category of stores selling in the European Union or California. And we have some more challenges to cover. Well, at least one here. And I'd like to say just 2 words about spam. That is another problem. And it's really important to solve it before publishing any request forms on your front end. And reCAPTCHA extensions, like our Google Visible reCAPTCHA by Amasty, I will talk about our products because I know them best. Such extensions will protect your forms from spam attacks, and they will not allow bots to jeopardize it. And if we talk about Amasty's reCAPTCHA, it supports both Google reCAPTCHA versions 2 and 3, and it doesn't require all users to solve the puzzles. It only filters suspicious activities. And last but not least, many stores use Magento themes different from the default Luma theme in order to improve the aesthetics, usability, and graphic appeal. And at Amasty, we don't have themes available yet, as you probably know, but we are planning to release a beta version of our own theme that is called Jet theme. And we are planning to do this in this June. And with our theme, we've been focusing on delivering clean design and keeping the performance stable. And we've been really emphasizing the performance part, which is really important when we talk about themes. And you will not need to worry about any incompatibility issues with the top Amasty extensions. And your store will meet the latest UX UI tendencies because the theme will come with lifetime updates. Well, I'd like to wrap up by saying a few words about the extension packs that we currently offer. Paul has already kindly mentioned these custom packs, and you see that we offer some benefits like 10 to 20% discounts, 6 months of free support, free installation service, and 90-day money back policy if you find that the solutions are not suitable for your project. Also, if you're interested, we have some ready-made packs that are focused on, some specific challenges like site speed, loss-free checkout, multi-channel retail, stock control, COVID business recovery. So if you're interested in any specific ready-made packs or some custom packs, just reach out to us, fill out the forms on the website, or email us at support@amasty.com, and we will be happy to help you find the most suitable solutions. So Paul, I will probably
yeah, hand it over to me, please, and I will get like the last steps, or we have a couple of minutes left.
Yeah, good. So done. Thank you.
Okay, coming back here. So, basically, Amasty, like the bottom line over here is like Amasty will take care about installation of all of the extension. That will configure it for you. It will be free of charge, like free installation, so which is nice. Now imagine you have you have already like a server up and running on Cloudways. You have Amasty extension installed over there. Basically, what's the next? Next step will be the data migration. Usually for our clients, we recommend to use shopping cart migration tool with our coupon code MageCloud 20. It's just, they will basically migrate all of your data, like product, customers, orders, into your Magento 2 store. So now let's imagine that you migrated already this website, right? Like the number one stuff to check before you go live is you either keep all of the URLs the same, which is ideal, or organize the 301 redirects, right? Ideally, if you want to maintain the traffic, keep title and meta description the same, keep H1 and text on the pages the same, right? That's a very clear thing that needs to be implemented. Make sure that you check robots.txt file, make sure that your sitemap generated daily, make sure that the redirect is correct, make sure that you will be using CDN for the JavaScript CSS like Cloudflare, verify that you have Google Tag Manager, Facebook Pixel available, verify that you have Magento running in the production mode, because sometimes I'm getting like clients who is running on the default or development mode for any reason. Don't use Magento default bundling, don't use Magento flat catalog and stuff like that. Make sure that canonical is not missing. Make sure there is no duplicating the data and there is no bots and subscribers, right? So eventually, basically, I will show you right now how I'm usually doing that. So like let's imagine this is the prospect that just come in. I'm using extension code Meta SEO Inspector, right? So before you go live, please just walk through the site, make sure there is no like a red one, like canonical is not missing, like H1 tag, because otherwise, if you will be launching this incorrectly, the cost of mistake will be so hard. So like from our end, from our agency, we also regularly checking different websites. So if you want, just send over your staging site, and I will be happy to spend 10 minutes of the time, send you the video, not a fancy PDF report, but just the video, and I will just explain you the issues that's there, right? So please make sure that also you, when you launch with Magento 2, please make sure that you install the product snippet. One of the stuff that I want to highlight is also about the ratings, which is a lot of businesses missing. So I'm getting like clients who are using like Trustpilot, Shopper Approve, all of those kind of nice review system, which is tracked by Google. So make sure you integrate the special code into the website that will allow you to push these ratings into the Google. So your snippets on the new website should not be just the boring. You feel free to use like a special characters. Feel free to use those ratings like that one. And like I said, like on our blog, we published the article about all of that, how to make it, you know. So I mean, that's really useful. Like small things matter. Please make sure that when you go live, please make sure, again, that's very critical. I'm getting this all the time. When you are in Google Analytics, you click here and you create a new annotation. Like that's the day when you go live from Magento 2, because otherwise you're coming back to agency and agency have no idea what happened. So make sure that you have it as well. Make sure that you keep tracking and you upload the new sitemap, right? Because the new sitemap, it's a must-have. So you should for sure have the Google Search Console. And as soon as you go live, please kind of go here, please eventually upload new sitemap. And what's important is, please pay attention to the Google Search Console every single day, because sometimes we're getting the clients when, like you see here, like there's almost 17,000 of the URLs, but half of those pages are not in Google Index. So especially for the businesses with a lot of URLs, that's might be a challenge that you want to really resolve. So I mean, like coming back to the story, like keep looking about that. Again, like someone mentioned, this is a sales webinar. I'm not trying to sell something like my service. I'm just trying to avoid the situation when like the customer coming to me and saying, hey, Paul, what's the cost of the migration? And then I'm just giving all of those coupon codes as well. You know, like feel free to use that. Just don't publish them online if possible. It's not just the Amasty extension. So, I mean, like it's totally like, I want you guys to use that. So just to summarize a quick step, you know, what I would be doing if I will be migrating. Install patches on the M1.9. That's must have, because that will give you some more extra time, right, to decide what to do. Install Cloudflare, which is we immediately will speed up Magento 1.9, plus you can protect admin panel based on the specific IP address, right? So it will be at least securing the site even more, right? Next thing, like I definitely recommend, I mean, you can skip this one. I don't want to be this a sales speech, but I'm moving all of my clients to Nexus. They can move it for free, right? So, I mean, if you just buy the hosting from them, they will move your site for free. they will be out for next 18 months. With the Nexus, you can stay on Magento 1.9, which is eventually might save you, budgets, because like eventually you would not need to be upgraded from 2.3 to 2.4, or maybe from 2.4 to 2.5, right? Definitely, if you want to worry, like if you like a big merchants, install Get Astra extension, which will be, I know it's an extra monthly bill, but again, it will secure your site even more. For sure, spend 16 hours of the time and just clean up your M1 from Google, right? Clean all those duplicating content, because then in Google Search Console, you will be eventually seeing the improvements. Now, if you still decided to go with M2, listen, just go to the Cloudways, use our coupon code. In 1 hour, you can eventually boost the server, right? Then basically, let me go back here to my tool. It will be just exactly like that. Then you contact Amasty and telling, hey, I came from MageCloud webinar. I want to get all of the extensions. Amasty know exactly which extension will be required for your business. They will install it for you free of charge. You just pay for the extension, and you already will be getting like a server, extensions over there. Cloudflare already will be pointed there, right? So end of the day, I think that's a great point. And so coming back to the steps, then just like get extension, Amasty doing like a free install, and then move data from shopping cart migration, and that's pretty much it. You can like eventually I can tell you that's this entire project. You can do it by yourself without even getting to any agents or developer, because all of those our partners, they can care about you, they install, they transfer, etc., etc. So again, like I'm like. I want to be transparent as possible, and give you all this information. I will give you even approximately how much time will take, and like sharing all of my coupon codes are in like any questions, guys, feel free to address right now. That's probably the best way to go over. So Julia, thank you so much for amazing things. I will go into the Q&A section right now. So if anyone have any questions, feel free to send over here or inside of the chat. So do we have any points for marketing, guys, in this webinar? I think a lot of stuff that I was talking about, like on this webinar, I don't want to teach you Magento 2, right? There's tons of tutorials, and I was not ready to kind of go through the Magento 2 backend and the code, etc. There's tons of the videos as well. I'm trying to educate business owners just about the different options and how they can. Yeah, I will send the recording for sure. It will be recorded. So a lot of things here. It's about marketing, conversion. How to not lose the traffic, and basically steps, what to do, right? So, and any questions, further questions, just shoot me an email. And I will be happy to advise. There was a couple of things here, I think, in the chat. Some complaints about how is this all related to Magento upgrade. Again, like we all came here just like for different kind of ideas, right? I apologize if I wasted time of anyone, right? So like I get it, like that's I get it. Like I was not ready to teach you like the coding of the Magento 2. There's tons of the Magento University you can get. So can I have recorded session to check out Amasty recommended extensions, pull recommendation? Yeah, it will be all here. The presentation will be here. The video will be here as well, right? Recording. Would I wait? Okay, so that's a good question. Would you wait until Magento 2.4? Would you start migration 2.3? Again, I tried. I tried to explain like all my Magento 1.9. I moved to Nexus, and they will stay there for 1 year at least, right? We are not going with 2.3, 2.4, but at the same time, if your website right now don't really produce you any results, then eventually, like you wanna still fix it, right? You wanna make sure it's working for you. So depends on the situation in your business. If you bring me the URL, I can tell you, hey, if there's tons of issues with your Magento 1.9, then probably migrating might be a good option, right? then the title of this webinar is misleading. Again, Mohammed, I apologize for that. Like, I don't want to mislead anyone. Like, any tips and tricks related to data migration tool. So let me tell you, basically shopping cart migration, if you send them an email, they will just eventually migrate it all for you, right? There are tons of tools, shopping cart migration, light extension, even Magento Prodigy, a default tool. What I normally do are so basically I wanna suggest, like, if you reach out, they have amazing onboarding stuff and they will just do it for you, right? That's pretty kind of the answer about the migration. You have to differently migrate customer information, order, products, but again, it's very configurable. If you want to migrate just products and categories, that will be it. If you want to also migrate customers and orders, for sure you can do it. You know, would you recommend Docker size the services? So I have a nice video which I probably can somehow share as well, because we've just recorded a nice session with our solution architect. YouTube, my videos. I should probably send the URL over here. And by the way, I mean, for like someone mentioned about coupon codes, etc., etc. So let me just go to my Trello board, which we're using for the management. Come on. That Zoom actually loading quite a bit of resources on my end. So let me see. Okay, so default draft M2. So basically, this is kind of our board with all the tasks. And like I said, like coupon codes. What I'm gonna do right now, I'm gonna send those coupons into the live chat. Like, please, if possible, don't publish this online. But again, I hope that's already will give you sort of credits, and like whoever wasted their time, please use those coupon codes, and hopefully you will save like $300, $500, and something like that. All right. So about the Docker sizes server, let me just give you a quick video. There is a great things that we recorded, visibility public. That's about the configuration. I will also send it over into this live chat to answer the question if someone wanna check this over. Let me take a look. Where's that? Would you recommend? All right, thanks for the response. Which is the best hosting for Magento 2 with 2K products? All right, so let me tell you about the hostings. I don't want to promote like specific one. There's a bunch of the ones. We have clients on MageMojo, on Cloudways. I mean, when I'm saying Cloudways, it does not mean the Cloudways they have own data center. We're still like DigitalOcean, right? Or Amazon, or that's up to you. Like I said, technically we mostly use DigitalOcean because they offer you like the price, like a fixed price for the server, unlike Amazon, right? When you're still charging for the traffic, etc. So, but there's a bunch of them. MageMojo, eBond host. That's at least UK fast if you're in UK. So technically, when someone asking me, hey Paul, what's the hosting vendor you want to recommend? I'm asking, hey, do you need like a phone support? Because Cloudways does not really provide you the phone support. If you're like in an emergency business, you're making huge profit, then probably something like Nexus was the phone support in US, UK, Australia, and UK fast if you're in UK. Like that's kind of will be probably the choices that I have. MageMojo even host as well. Again, like you see, people think that this is like a promotion and sales pitches, etc. I just want to avoid that. Email, yes, I will email. I will email the recording for sure to everyone. So let me go back to the questions over here. how choose thesis. I like probably I'm not quite sure. How choose status? I did not just get the answer for that one. Should I use Mage 1 to secure my Magento 1 until I do the upgrade? So let me tell you, I had a brief kind of messages with them about the system and the patches. So I still want to tell you, yes, that's probably OpenMage initiative. It's one of the options. Again, with my clients, I'm taking a different way. It's just because like Nexus is kind of solid company. I have a lot of clients there, and that's why it's much be easy for me just to move them all there, because it's will like honestly I know like with Nexus, if some troubles happen, they will never tell you, hey, this is Magento issue on the server, it's all fine. I knew it from experience. They will always dive deep and do that. So I mean, like for sure, you will have to do something about the M1, right? So if you're on M1, for sure, like you can go ahead and stay with it. How to choose the theme? So my point is, and unfortunately that happens because sometimes people go in, they buy sort of theme, and they come back and they want me to improve the speed. But one of the issue with the theme is just it comes over with like 5 different layouts, a lot of themes, like pretty heavy. It's very hard. And then theme comes over with a different extension, right? So if you will be installing something else, there is a great chance that it will be all conflicting over. Are like in terms of the themes, are I think one of their theme that I'm more or less kind of tested myself, that was Argento, right? Again, I don't want to be a salesperson of all of this, but Argento theme is the one that I really tested, for a couple of clients. Like I know someone with Porto, but again, like that's already up to you. It was the normal business that we work, I would highly recommend just to play around with the default Luma and then customize it a little bit, okay? And will my friend the URLs migrate? So about the data migration, yes. So Magento 2, you can upload all the URLs. If you're using shopping cart migration, all of those URLs will be migrated properly. It would not be any things. Any Magento 2 course you can advise. So I can for sure, again, I don't want to be promoting like Magento once, but again, if you want to, that's the guys that I really like. It's real training, right? So basically are like they have like a different programs, front end, back end, etc. Like honestly, I'm not a Magento developer, don't get me wrong, guys. I'm the guy who's looking into analytics, Search Console, and doing like the stuff. Yeah. Where's that? Let me go back here. Simple and I have to jump in another. Okay, let me go back because it's a little bit hard to keep tracking. Is there a Nexus alternative in EU? So that's a great question. I mean, I did not really hear anything about like the host. Like one of the hosting that which I know they probably in EU is MGT Commerce, but I don't know if they even coming back with any sort of kind of plan of supporting. But don't get me wrong. Like let me explain you how it will work. So basically, there is a certain services like TrustWave, right? TrustWave, which is scanning your website, like if you buy for sure like package, they will scan your system in terms of the like PCI things. So even you're on the different hosting, like not Nexus, right? Basically, you can still maintain. You can get the patches from the OpenMage, etc., and install it. And as long as your website will be matching the PCI compliance, let me tell you, Nexus would not install patches for you. What Nexus will do, it will alert you that, hey, this is the new patch which is available, install it, right? So pretty much they're doing exactly what Magento is doing those days. So again, like I'm not trying, like at least guys, I'm not trying to tell you use MageCloud for development, right? Like the reason why I came over was Amasty, and the reason why eventually Amasty spent 2 weeks is just because I eventually gave them all this list, and I you know, basically like all the tasks was the estimates, and they prepared you a package which will save you the dev time, right? Like if I will be installing invisible capture, I will charge you for 3 hours. If I will be installing like GDPR, I will charge you for 2 hours. So now imagine, instead of paying me, you just pay Amasty for the extension, and they will just go ahead and install it for you, right? So I mean, where's this? That's kind of any tip on customer migration where there is a password and card information. I don't think you can migrate like a saved card. I don't think this is possible. Or you know what? Like probably with this question, if you don't mind, I can connect you with card to card, or if you just go to the shopping cart migration and name MageCloud, they will be happy to advise for you. I'm not able to answer this question. If they're able to migrate password or not. In worst case scenario, you can just ask people to, you know, kind of reset the password. That's probably the idea. So let me see if there are anything else here. Yeah, I think I answered most of the stuff from here. If I missed anyone or someone else having a question, feel free to email Julia and me at amasty.com, magecloud.net, or MageCloud Agency, and we'll be happy to answer over. So that's a good question about PWA. You know, like I know there's a lot of things going about PWA, but I do expect that the price of their project eventually would be way more higher than like the normal small business can afford. So I like, for now, again, I will be quite honest with you. For now, we as an agency, we're not doing PWA for all of my clients. It just probably are, again, like I would rather, I'm with my clients, I'm waiting for the more stable things. Okay. Post the link about the dockerization of the service. I posted the video about this one. So Boris, if you don't mind, like I can, it's better for me to connect you with my chief technology person, and he will be able to answer the question if you don't mind. But the video somewhere I posted here in the chat, like YouTube video, etc. So the next one, can you advise good extension for B2B marketplace? Or like I can tell you guys, like B2B module in Magento available by default, but I don't think it's marketplace. So recently, like we were working with, we were recommending a couple of things. But again, don't get me wrong, I don't want to tell you like which one is the best. So there are 3 companies, at least the one which I know. Webcool, I sent them quite a bit of, they have a product called marketplace.webcool.com. So I sent them quite a bit of you know, clients, but again, some I don't want to promote specific one. This CUD Commerce, and the last one, unergy.com, they also have a solution for the marketplace. I would highly recommend you to explore that one, because it seems like a pretty solid, but again, unfortunately, there is no demo. So unfortunately, I would not be able to just to give you, there is no price information, etc. So unfortunately, I would not be able to give you like a, like more or less like things, but it seems like it's might work exactly the way. So if you want the links, I will quickly just send you over a couple of those, again, just to give the value, guys. Like that's my okay, all right. I had contracted. Okay, yeah, but I like, again, guys, like the question was which one, like I know, so I would rather, like, don't get me wrong, I'm the same guy, you know, like same as you. I'm challenging with all this Magento thing, and so I learn every day, you know, some, like, even from you guys. So like we all a community. So can you share your Trello M2 templates? Yes, I can, but just send me an email so I can share with you, okay? Like, is it possible for me to make it public? Let me do this way. I will show menu more copy board. I will just go ahead here. M2 default public, right? That's probably will be the ones I will delete it. I will delete it. I don't think I have any sort of private information. At least should not have. Yeah, but if you were looking for more link to this board, you see only board members can see it. Can I change this to public? All right, guys, let's do this way. I will figure this. I don't want to waste too much of your time. I will figure this out, and I will include this link as well, you know, somewhere in the newsletter or somewhere else. Okay, just don't want to waste the time. Okay, sounds good. If you need my, just like whenever, like it's my personal Gmail is this one. If you guys need any questions, you know, so that's probably it, guys. Like honestly, a little bit tired. Yeah, I mean, like again, there's a bunch of them, right? So I don't want to be a salesperson, you know, and promoting any of those. But like if I would be trying all of them, you know, like if I will have my opinion, I would definitely recommend you something. But so far, I'm probably not in a good position to recommend you. Where's the time? Okay, perfect, guys. So yeah, thank you, Julia. Thank you, everyone. It was really it was my pleasure, to be quite honest. You know, to see all of you. And again, I apologize if someone wasted time.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Thank you so much. It has been really informative for me. And well, guys, if we at Amasty can be in any way helpful for you with your project, just email us, and we'll be happy to help.
All right. Bye-bye, everyone. Thank you.
Bye-bye.